Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Kelly from The Truth in Story. And as you can see, and I don't know which side he's on, but we're the Brady Bunch. And here we have Patrick from In the 78 Cards, not
Hello,
stars.
everybody.
So we are here tonight because we are both freaks. And since about a month ago, I think about a month ago, when they announced that this spirit animal, I keep calling it spirit animal, but it is Animal Spirit Oracle by they actually have the Wild Unknown on it. So it's the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit.
Right.
Since we've heard about this, we've literally been freaks about this.
True story.
Yes, messaging, and then when it came close to actual delivery, even more messages back and forth and freakiness going on. So we're quite excited about it. And so while we have both done our own unboxings so that we could, give it its proper attention, we had to come on and do a joint video talking about it a little bit more just in chit chat versus like, trying to be cohesive and all that. But I will say also that Patrick is the one who actually gave me my Wild Unknown, which is another reason why we've been freaks about it together, is because I had purchased the Wild Unknown, sold it, was not the timing for me. Patrick sent it back to me, forcing me, being cruel, trying to force me into dealing with it. And I fell in love with it, and it's one of my top 4 decks. And we all know that Patrick is a freak about the Wild Unknown.
Yeah, no question. But that was the first deck I ever gifted.
That was the first one, and it was a winner.
Yeah, I was really excited about it. I still am excited about it. It was one of those things that I didn't know your story either. I didn't know that you had it, and then...
Yeah, I don't know that I'd really talked too much about... I mean, I think I probably have mentioned, but I hadn't done like a whole thing on it. It just wasn't something that was... And I really didn't have any intention. I had a little bit of niggles that said, maybe I should give it another chance, but I probably would not have gotten it again because I had such a strong... Whoa, no. But I had the same good reaction. When I first saw the artwork for the Wild Unknown, my instant reaction was actually, whoa, in a good way, because it was so much like Michael's drawings and what he would love about a deck. The same thing with the, what's that other one that is all animals with 3 eyes that people get freaked out about? The Wooden Tarot.
Yeah, wouldn't. Yeah.
I saw both of those around the same time, and I thought, I've got to get one of those. I decided to get the Wild Unknown, and it was just too soon, and it was just not good. It's just sometimes it's all about timing, and but now I use it a lot. And to be honest, since I started doing a lot more work with the Marseille deck, I've actually found myself using the Wild Unknown more because of the pip-like cards, the minors are more pip-like. Although the energy of the card is still there, but there's not scenes in all of them. So anyways, yes, we're both a little excited about the Wild Unknown. So when we saw that there was going to be an Oracle, we had to have it. Now, Patrick, you need to talk a little bit about the fact that really Oracle's not your thing. Yeah. So this was a little bit more kind of questionable for you.
I mean, I've tried a few times because I watched this person on YouTube. Her name's Kelly, and she's always working. She's always working these like spells over the interwebs, that make you want to buy things. And so, anyways, no, I really wanted to experience Oracle, but I wouldn't say I had 2 negative experiences. I had 1 negative experience with an Oracle deck, just in the sense that I got it and then I just couldn't do anything with it. And it just felt like a waste of money, felt like a waste of energy. Because, I mean, if you know, and if anybody's watched my channel, they know, like, I always do a lot of research and I spend a lot of time. So to then, like, get to that point where the deck is there and it's like, So then I kind of recovered from that and realized, okay, stop it. Just stay in your lane, Patrick. It's all about tarot for you, and that's okay. And and then I kind of fell in love with the idea of the Moonface Oracle and purchased that Oracle deck, which I do still have, and it has a place, but I can't say that It's not more of a, for me, it's not, I kept trying to make it be like tarot, and it's just not tarot. And there's not a system for that Oracle deck.
And we should point out here, just for people who may not have seen your channel, and if you haven't, go in the description box. It will be linked there. Make sure you do. But if you hadn't seen it, Patrick's actually not super far into his tarot work. Right. So like about 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years. And so and he's quite focused. So I think that you still were very much in that focused on learning tarot. So I can see where, because I did not buy. I had my first tarot deck, and at around the same time, somebody gifted me Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle, and I had a Tree Oracle. I didn't use either of those very much. I pretty much used tarot for like 9 years. Yeah. And so I really wasn't an Oracle person either. I was kind of like, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I do like the structure. I do like the tradition behind it, just not something somebody, okay, I'm just going to do an Oracle deck on this, or I'm just going to do, I do like that. And then once, of course, I start, but it's only been in the last year, and maybe about a year. It was pretty much when I started going professional. I thought, okay, it's nice to have that Oracle. Sometimes people don't necessarily want tarot. So it's only been the last year that I've used Oracle, and I clearly exploded ridiculously.
A little bit.
But I think that we talked about it, and we thought part of what wasn't working for you was that lack of structure, that it was just a grouping of cards by theme, but not necessarily any kind of structure there.
Yeah, because that's what I think where I sort of rounded the corner with the second deck, which was the Moon Phase for me. That was a deck that didn't fall flat. I love the artwork. I like the size of the cards. I really like the guidebook that came with it. But what I was struggling with, and what like really went into focus, was no structure for me.
What do I do
at this point? I'm not. That's too loose for me. So I mean, I love that deck, but it's not one I can really honestly say that I use in a way that I want to use.
Yeah.
So then
So were you a little nervous about this then?
Yeah.
Because
I was, but I was also really optimistic. But I definitely was nervous. But I thought there's no way Kim Kranz wasn't going to, because aesthetically they're so connected and everything. Clearly, she's going to try to,
merge them in some way.
Or at least give some guidance as to how to use them together or something. I was very surprised when the cards came and I actually started my walkthrough and started to look through it. I was surprised at the level, surprised and so relieved at the level of structure there is.
Yeah.
Because it's so structured.
More so than I definitely thought as well. If you haven't watched either of the walkthroughs, I would certainly recommend doing that. Clearly it's going to help. But I will say, this, we really didn't have any inkling this was coming out. Like, they did a very interesting and kind of smart. I think it can go both ways. There's something about the build-up also, but they definitely went from the stone wall of communication to like, okay, it's coming out in 30 days. Here you go. Yeah. Everybody went, kind of crazy. So we really didn't have time to think about that or to have them released like, oh, this is how it's going to be. So I was actually pleasantly surprised as well at the structures, because there are actually, just in a quick recap, because we really aren't going to like re-review it, but just in case you haven't seen it, there are the 4 elemental suits with 14 cards, and they do actually go from lowest amount of consciousness or awareness up into what she would consider the higher consciousness. So even within the suit, they kind of go on a structure. And then there is a 5th element of spirit, which is similar to the major arcana. So when it shows up, it has that little extra like, oh, I better pay attention to this. So there is a structure there that's not just element. It's not, this is an element, just oh, this animal is elemental. it's that a little bit, but there's also, it's actually a suit.
Yeah.
And so that is quite beautiful. I will say the only little bit of disappointment that I had was that there wasn't more of, and I guess they shouldn't. I mean, they have to stand alone on their own, because some people aren't going to have both of the decks. But I thought there'd be a little bit more, or at least one spread using both of them together. I think the spreads, they kind of fell a little bit short for me. I think they could have done either a specific one on spirit animal or animal spirit, or in a perfect world, I would have liked one that was like really focused on animal spirits. I said it right. And also one that had them combined, because they so clearly like want to play together.
But they do now. I don't know if I found it today.
No.
On
Patrick has breaking news.
Yes, on their website. Well, I noticed on their website that they redid their entire website.
Probably because they heard people say, "Where's the spread?"
Yeah, and so if you go to their website, there's a tab now called Guidance, and they have monthly spreads, and it looks like they're going to start releasing a new spread every month. And they've done two, one for last month and one for this month. Last month's, I didn't even notice, but last month's...
Did it actually have it in here?
Yes, and we should have picked up on this.
I didn't know that they'd have anything on their website to go back and check monthly.
Yeah, and so it's really cool because last month's is called the Wild Unknown spread, and it's a 5-card tarot spread with a animal spirit 6-card.
Oh, gotcha.
Which I posted on my Instagram today. That's where I found it. And then this month they just posted a I need to look. I think it's a 6-card. I've got it right here. I think no, it's a 5-card spread, and they call it a 5-element spread. And that spread is while it can be modified to be used with the Wild Unknown Tarot, the way she's got it positioned is for animal spirit exclusively. So that's cool.
If you watch my video, you can do that 5-card and stack them, because it works fantastic that way.
Yes.
It really does. It's like they're made to do, because I do that anyways with elementals, where I'll do I think I found that from, there's another deck that I saw that, I want to say it was the Green Witch, which I didn't even keep, but I liked that idea of having an elemental and then having that sort of underlying energy. How perfect is it to use those two together for that? I mean, they're meant for it.
Yeah, well, and then after seeing your video, I was so excited, as you know, because I was like messaging you saying, get that video up.
Put it up.
I was so excited after watching your video and actually seeing that in motion and seeing how they do work together so well. And you don't have to work them together. That's the other thing is I think the system being as strong as it is that's included here. I mean, like I said, you don't have to have both.
No, I definitely intend to do, I really think you can, and obviously you can with any Oracle, and I do use Oracle more on its own more than you do. So I do think that you can use just about any tarot. That's not true. Truthfully, full-on Oracle decks, what I consider like full-on Oracle decks, like, I don't know, like Sacred Rebels Oracle, like the big card size, Oracle decks. I don't tend to do big spreads with those. At most, I do 3 cards. They work very well for me as a 3-card thing. I can't imagine like some of these big Oracle cards like doing a 10-card spread with them. I just feel like that's not their forte. But decks like Brian Froud's or Fairy Oracle that has an actual structure and a system. I have another one that there's a couple like that have an actual structure. Those I will use very much like I use tarot cards. And that's what I think this is.
Because I haven't, I'm curious, because you've worked with so many more Oracle decks. Like this is the first Oracle deck that I've worked with that even has a structure. Is it not as common that there's like a clearly defined how to use in a structure?
I think it's almost sort of when you think Oracle cards. So like I think I even have videos where somebody will say, what is the difference between tarot and Oracle? That comes up a lot. And so one of the differences that you would say was that tarot is structured. It has 78 cards split into the minor and the major. You have the suits. And you go with that. Oracle is pretty much grouped by theme or an overarching message that it's going to have, but it's much more freewheeling. It's much more, generally it's cohesive. It's a good Oracle deck. It's cohesive in its theme and that kind of thing, but you don't generally have like suits. So you're not going to have actually separate suits and things like that. You can split them off because you can kind of see, okay, this one is kind of moving in this energy, this is moving that energy, but it doesn't actually have suits. Whereas the Brian Froud Fairy Oracle and does the Heart of Fairy, I think both of his decks actually has sections like these are the messengers, these are, you know, the spirits, these are the mischievous ones, they have different names, but it's actually got specific breakdowns in suits. And of all the decks that I have, which is a lot, not as many Oracles Tarot, but I do have a lot, I think the Brian Froud ones are the only ones with actual suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any other one that would actually be split into suits like that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it definitely struck me, and I'm excited about it because I feel like I'm going to take some time, obviously, but I feel like I can work with this. Like there's something for me to sink my teeth into.
For sure.
So, and I'm also wondering, I don't know if you've thought this in the last few days, but I mean, I've been looking at these cards now, and I'm like, okay, when you work with both, there's a lot of animals, and then every once in a while, with the tarot deck, the trees pop up, and I'm like, I wonder if she'll do like a woods deck later on someday, or like, because you could do the whole wild unknown and lay them all down and have a jungle.
Have a giant jungle. Yeah, no, it is true. I mean, you're certainly, especially when you combine these, you're talking about some pretty heavy animal energy. I mean, I don't think that it's one to come at, you know, a separate from that because it's so strong especially when you add these in. Yeah. Now, I showed Patrick. Actually, I showed him. I think I sent him a picture last night as well. But then I did on my Instagram. Sent him a picture with the Wild Unknown with the Messenger Oracle cards, which is more animals. Yeah. But it actually is stunning, even though it's completely different artwork. You know, artwork style. Yeah. It's gorgeous with it. And I've done a few already today with the new moon readings that I'm doing, and where I've used the spirit, the Oracle. I'm not going to be saying these correctly. I don't even know what these are called. Messenger cards, I think.
Yeah,
it's called messenger cards. Yeah. I keep saying Messenger Oracle, but I think it's actually called Messenger Cards.
I think so too, yeah.
I do think Patrick should buy these, and we should start a campaign to make him buy these, because I actually think he would like these.
They are sold out, and I'm not listening. No.
Because I think, though, this is why. And I'll leave it alone. I'm going to tell you why you should buy it, and please don't watch Mrs. Stars.
I need some.
The reason why is because I think that when you actually are working with the animal spirit oracle, which I think is a little bit more structured, this would actually function as an oracle card to then pull that final card as that final message.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, bye. So I'm using this as sort of that kind of the Taurus energy, the earth spirit energy, and then I'm using this is what's manifesting for the new moon. So this one is kind of like what you need to be planting. What is the energy that you need to be planting this Taurusy moon, which he's very much an earthy person. What I'm using the animal spirit as what I should be manifesting with the energy over the next month, and then I'm using the wild unknown as sort of the what to let go of and what to bring into the new year. And it's really not new year, new month. And they're all playing together very nicely.
I'm sure they are.
I love combining decks. You know me. It's like this deck was a no-brainer for me because it was like, now please, Patrick, you are a wild unknown freak. And so you need to head the brigade of getting a wild unknown Lenormand deck.
I know. I mean,
you don't even like Lenormand, but you probably take that one. I bet you would buy it.
I would buy it, and I would try to learn it and see how it goes.
I need that. I need to have the wild unknown Lenormand to have the absolutely gorgeous three voices reading out of these.
That would be kind of amazing. I wonder. Right. Yeah. You never know.
So let's talk about these cards for a minute, because let's gush a little bit. Do you have favorites already?
Yeah, definitely the, okay, so the raccoon.
I know that surprised me. I'm like, you just don't think of raccoons as being, but it's pretty cool, and especially given the meaning of it, and it's how it kind of blends in. Because let's just look.
Yeah.
What is that? Earth. You hold it up for people. You hold it up.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Earth.
Talented and shadowy and hiding, and it's actually like he's kind of blending into it. So there's definitely, they paid attention to the visuals.
Yeah.
Being what the thing is. Now, the one thing that's going to make me want to buy the book, and I'm kind of pained about it, because I'm not going to lie, I'm one of those people that don't really like decks that you have to buy a separate book, because we talked about this, Patrick. The Marielle book is so amazing, and it was included with the deck. So it pains me, but I think this one, and you know why it's going to be? It's just for the very bottom of the guidebook where it says, what's the wording on those three?
Yeah, so raccoon, it says, well, at the bottom it says, on every page, every card, it says, when in balance, this is what it looks like. When out of balance, this is what it looks like. And bring into balance, this is what
wonderful is that? Because it's all based on elemental energy. Everything in my practice is surrounded by getting your elemental energy in balance and or utilizing what you have well. And it's focused on that idea of getting it into balance. And I love that.
Yeah, I do too, a lot. And that's where it's not even like, okay, it's a cohesive visually oracle deck. And then, okay, she's put some structure, which is great.
Right.
But then even in the sort of, there's another layer of, okay, this is what the energy of this animal could or should or whatever be, but what you could tap into. But this is what it looks, not just like tapping into in a obvious way, but like if it's in balance, out of balance, and what to do to put it back into
place. And let me say, in all fairness to people who maybe like me don't want to buy a guidebook, you can figure that out yourself, because truthfully, there are some of the animals, even with looking at the keywords, that I have a lot of other resonances with the animal energy that isn't here, and you can do the same thing in terms of asking yourself that question. Okay, is this in balance? Is it not in balance? What do those two things look like? And then what would you go about doing in order to get rebalance it if that's not the case? So I do think for those of you who just are getting the deck, that was something to pay attention to, but you can manage that on your own.
Absolutely.
That just gives you the added structure. So you like the raccoon.
Yeah, what's yours? Yeah, what do you what's your favorite card?
Yeah, I went through trying, because you asked me that. I love the fox. I really think the fox, I love the dragon. I had a hard time because I went through thinking I'd make a kind of small pile of one. I had this big pile of ones I really, really liked. It was easier for me to do the ones I didn't like because there's a lot less of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot less of them, but my favorite, I actually really do like that there's a vulture.
Oh no.
That's not my favorite, but
you're frozen.
Oh, am I frozen?
I don't know if we're still connected.
As I was saying, Patrick, I think, hung up on me. He's just really like that.
Never.
But I actually like the vulture because, and I don't like vultures and they're not attractive to look at. Is there a vulture in the wild unknown? I'm trying to...
No.
There is one. It's the devil card in the animal totem tarot, which I quite like. It has a very similar energy. It's totally different art style and everything, but it has a very similar energy. It has it says death. But I really like the keywords for this one. What is this? Air, yeah. The keywords, it was like kind of bringing the idea of bringing things back into balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, essential for rebalance. Like, you have to have light and dark. Like, you have to have those things. And the fact that they have this as a rebalancer, I think, is pretty interesting. I liked that, even though, again, nobody really likes to look at vultures. They're not the most attractive of animals or birds.
No, and they don't. It's funny, though, because you said it in your walkthrough, and I'm remembering it right now. You said, the stuff they eat is pretty nasty too. It's the stuff nobody else wants to eat.
Yeah, but needs to be. It's going to go in waste. I mean,
yeah. I think it's interesting. It says when in balance for that, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, it is the dramatic, aggressive, and to bring into balance, clean your space, and sage. So I think it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Cleansing, which makes sense with the rebalancer. Now, you know what I want to talk about too? Did you notice, I don't know if you've gone through and looked, and I meant to go back and look, there are a couple cards, and there's not very many of them, that actually have, like this, here's the tiger, and the tiger has the moon on the forehead.
Yeah.
And the elephant has the Indian
dot
there. Oh, the horse does.
Yeah.
But there's not. It's the majority of them do not. I wasn't sure how I felt about that at first, because with the spirit suit, that makes sense. Those are not natural world animals, and so you don't expect them to be natural or you don't expect them to be natural. They can be kind of unnatural. But with the one, here's the elephant.
Yeah, and the zebra. Here's the zebra.
The zebra has it. Okay.
Yeah. So
it looks like just those 4. So it's the elephant, the horse, the tiger. Oh, now let's look at this, Patrick.
And the zebra.
Did we just uncover something interesting? Let me find the zebra. What suit is the zebra?
Fire.
No, we didn't uncover anything. I thought maybe we'd found a hidden thing, because the elephant is fire.
Yeah.
And the horse is earth, and the vulture is air. Oh no, we actually have 5. The tiger is fire. So there's actually 3 of them are fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe there was one from each of the suits that had, that kind of special thing on the forehead. So, no, we did not uncover anything special. But it is interesting. And at first, it was kind of like, I don't know that I like that, because I like, what I like about the Wild Unknown is that it's just natural. It is the natural world. So I wasn't sure wasn't sure what I felt about it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little random, for sure.
I love this. That's one of my favorites. Sorry, I just saw it. I had to show it to you.
I know. I love that one. This one would be this one, the deer.
Just the way that she's looking. I mean, she's looking at that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's just like the raccoon and the deer. Yeah,
probably tops for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that there's a shark there, because I feel like that's the same sort of. Although I'm thinking the shark one, I wasn't that in tune with the keywords on shark.
Now the shark is interesting because the art style is a little different in that one too.
There's a few like that, and some of them better than others. I actually like the shark. The other art one like that is the unicorns like that, which I'm not as happy with. I love the hummingbird.
Yeah, the hummingbird's amazing. And the firefly.
Yes, I love the firefly. I love the firefly. But yeah, there's something different. Where is the unicorn? Here it is. It's got that same kind of almost dotted, which almost makes it a softening effect of them. There's a couple like that. And the other ones I think I talked about I love the mouse too. Yeah, although I have to say, being such a Lenormand person, it's hard for me to not think about something being eaten away with the mouse.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
I also love the fire ants.
That's funny because I feel the same way about that. And when she was doing the print sale online and we were looking at the prints, that was when I thought, ooh, I'm not sure I'm going to like that. Sold on that one? Yeah. You weren't sold on the eggs either. No, I wasn't. But I like the eggs much more in person than I thought. But the fire ant is right up there in like my top. Yeah, one of my top cards.
It's just visually, it's a cool card, and I like what it has to say. Like I really do like it. I can't find that. I love the bat. Did you see on Instagram where she showed the 3 versions of bat?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
They definitely picked the right one on that one.
She does that. She's done that over the years too with the Wild Unknown.
You've seen the options.
Yeah. I love that behind the scenes look.
I was trying to find something, and now I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm just flipping through beautiful cards.
I know. Well, see, that's the problem. I just realized I should probably pick my head up.
Yeah, I know. We're just sitting here like this.
So Kelly, what do you think about?
I know. We're just gonna second. I was actually looking for something, and now I don't even know what I was looking for. So, oh well. The only one, and Patrick and I have talked about this, and I think I mentioned it probably in my video because I tend to do that rudely. I don't like the panther, and I think that some of it is because I love panthers.
Yeah.
I love Bagheera. I did just see the Jungle Book, so he's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
And so I don't like the angriness look to it, but mostly I just don't think it's as beautifully done as the rest of them.
Yeah. I totally, I mean, you did mention it in your video. I didn't, but I definitely agree.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, this is not bad art, but
no, I couldn't draw it. So,
no.
But when compared to the other ones, and like we were talking about in the Wild Unknown, there's none of them. I may not particularly like other ones over other ones, but none of them stand out as being, oh, that's not quite up to par with the other work. Where that one to me just doesn't quite feel as finished as the rest of the.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's just looking at the artwork itself, like maybe the meaning, because I'm fine with animals, not looking.
Yeah. No,
happy.
I could even deal with the growly face if it was just better artwork.
Yeah, totally. And
but again,
I feel like,
please, I could not draw it, so it's not by any means bad artwork. It's just she sets the bar very high because all of the other images are so gorgeous. The bar is so very high. It's like, so. But really, out of how many cards are in here? 63.
Yeah,
I think there's 63. Like there's one card that I actually don't think is all that, so that's pretty good.
It's funny because it says when in balance it's brave and productive, when out of balance self-destruction. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. I just even that energy, it's I am gonna have to sit with this card to like draw the line to
and we may have to find our own, and that I think that's important for especially for something like animal. Like now I know you don't work a ton. You even said when you did your walkthrough that you like animals, but you don't do a lot of like work with animal energy, and this would be a way for you to do that. But I think that some people will buy this deck because they are very much into working with animal energy, and there's nothing on these cards, which is one of the things that's nice, is there's nothing on the cards that is going to lock it into any specific meaning. So that you can come at. So there's a couple that I didn't, like the moth. I think the moth was one that I wouldn't use particularly her energy for that animal. And there's nothing on here that says I have to. There's no. So I like that. I don't particularly like the descriptive titles. Like, I just think that, do we have to say this is a tiger? I mean, it's a tiger. Do we not know this is a horse? Like, do we have to go back to kindergarten and figure out our animals? But on the other hand, A, it looks really nice. I mean, it's very balanced. And B, nothing locks us into a meaning, and I really like that a lot.
Yeah. It's obviously something she must have thought about, too, because I was thinking about that as well, because other languages. If this, if you're not into English, this isn't even like it's small. It's big.
No, it's pretty big. I can definitely see where this could be a con for some people on the deck.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before on decks. There's one other deck. It was a mermaid deck. I think it was one of the Jasmine Beckett Griffiths that all it was descriptive. It's like they didn't bring anything to the table other than what you could see with your eyes, so why even have it on the card?
Yeah.
So, and the Wild Unknown's not like that. Like, it doesn't have anything like that on it. So I personally, in a perfect world, I would just take those off. But, it's not something that bothers me. It's just something
You mean you won't be trimming it?
No. No. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a Wild Unknown trimmed.
Yeah, I've seen one.
I mean, I think any deck is gorgeous trimmed very often. This, to me, they're little skinny white borders. That, it doesn't bother me too much. I don't know. I mean, I do think they probably be gorgeous untrimmed. Or trimmed off, but and you could easily do it because it's uniformed. If you look, like there's not a thicker one at the bottom, it's uniformed around. So in the backs the way they are, you could very easily, if you are a trimmer, you could very easily trim these, and they probably would be stunning. But no, I've never really been led to trim the Wild Unknown or the Fountain Tarot, although Otzi and Nina, I think Nina did hers, are on the warpath trying to convince us to cut, and I can't do it unless I had a duplicate. They're gorgeous because we have if you look at the actual original paintings,
Yes.
that's what they look like when they're trimmed. Like you've just got this whole pile of the gorgeous paintings. But I can't do it unless I have a second
If
one.
I do that to the Fountain Tarot, which I'm still debating.
You have been back and forth, which I am shocked because you're not a trimmer as much.
No, and I don't even want to. I don't like altering. Like,
right.
I mean, Marielle was one thing because she said to do it, so I did it. Marie White said to do it, but the thing about the Fountain Tarot is, and they are on the warpath, but they do look stunning. They look like the original pieces of art.
That's the thing. They look like little art pieces sitting there, and it's very tempting.
Yeah.
But I could not do it unless I had a secondary deck, and I
do. So I'm like,
you have a secondary deck, then you need to trim it. Why are you even thinking then?
Because I just feel like I didn't even open my secondary deck because it's like preserved forever.
So you're just kind of saving that as literally like a collectible piece.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
it would you could still leave it sealed. I mean, you wouldn't have to use it because you'll have your beautiful one.
That's true because I could. Okay, we're way off.
I know. But yes, you could trim these. I don't. Like I said, I think you started us on this path. I don't think I've been trimming up. But I've never felt tempted to trim the Wild Unknown. I mean.
No, me either. And I actually liked very much the. I've seen it trimmed once. I didn't completely think. I mean, I don't think it looks bad.
But it didn't have that impact like the Fountain Tarot, where you literally just like, oh shoot, that looks fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
no, it didn't have that impact.
It was pretty, but I'm not tempted.
There's all this bleeding over on the line. They do have the borders, but I like the little bleeding over too.
You can see that on the vulture too, along the sides where some of the line work. I don't know if you guys can see that there, right up here. Sorry, I'm just showing people that. But you can see where the line is going over the border. And it's such a simple little thing, but it is, there's something about it that's very organic to the drawing process. So I've not been tempted, but if you do want to, it's very simple. It would be very easily done, and it would, I'm sure, look absolutely gorgeous. I'm just not particularly tempted to do so. Because you'd have to do them both, and I've never felt like, oh, I've got to cut I know everybody thinks that all I do is trim all my decks off. But truthfully...
No, you don't trim them all. You edge them all.
The ones that are in my main cubicle that aren't trimmed are borderless already. That's why they're... Exactly. The only ones that have intact borders is the Wild Unknown and the Fountain Tarot. Those are the only two. Otherwise, I do trim them a lot.
And you didn't edge either one of those either.
No, I can't. I've been tempted because I do actually think this would probably be gorgeous black. Mm-hmm. And so I have been tempted, but not strongly enough to actually do it. And obviously the Fountain Tarot is gilded, so
do it to the mass-produced one if you get the mass-produced.
Yes. But see, then the back's probably that's dark too. The second edition back is dark, so it's
actually darker than
it could go black. Yeah. We are so far off topic.
Right. Well, I have a question for you.
Okay,
so
I have no clue. Even we have to keep some amount of eye on our timing.
Listen. This is what I have to say about that.
Go.
You did a full day chat live.
That's true.
And I was working. It was my opening day at the shop. No, I had to miss the whole thing.
Why did you do that? Why would you schedule that on my live chat day?
Yeah, you post-dated that. And so this is my version of the live day chat.
This is true. I'm trying to be kind. You actually had a
Nobody's going to watch it, but...
You had a longer walkthrough of this than mine. Did you notice that?
Yeah, mine's a two-part, 30-minute.
Although I think yours just got cut off at the end and you had to... So I don't know what your total time is. Maybe...
It was 60 minutes. My walkthrough for this deck, I think, is longer because I read...
But you had the guidebook, so I read
one page.
I did too. I read The Wolf.
No, but I mean, I read one page from every suit.
Oh, yeah, that's probably... That's
Yeah,
fun. I thought it was funny because I noticed it. I thought, oh, people are talking about me. Look, Patrick's creeping up there on his time for
Yeah,
the
but
law.
you get to have, we are rambling, but you get to have long videos. If I post something longer than like 40 minutes, YouTube like truncates it.
I don't, I had to go through a verification process. There was something that I had to do, and that gave me extended time.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. Somehow I was able to verify. Oh yeah, and I think it was had to do with my website, and I had to have something in the header. I don't know. There was something that I did, and it did give me long because I don't. Yeah, I've done longer than an hour, and it doesn't truncate.
I know because I've watched them while I'm on
many of them. Yes. So
okay, my question.
Okay, your question.
Before I forget it, would you? Because you worked with Oracle and Tarot for a while.
Yes.
I haven't. And I'm excited. But would you ever shuffle your Oracle deck?
That just gave me the shivers. No. I bet you there's a lot of people that will.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, because the card backs, well, if
you can easily get them. Backing doesn't matter because I don't do reversals, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I don't know about you, but when I go to lay a card, like I'm doing a reading, when I lay it out, I don't know if they're going to be able to see, I lay it down face up. I don't lay it down. A lot of people lay it down face down and then kind of turn the card over as they go. I like to see the picture, the big picture, because I tend to do the scanning. They call it scanning and tarot reading to kind of see what elements are showing up, how many of the major arcana do we have, and especially in this same thing with this, you can actually see what are the elements that are in play, is spirit in play, those kind of things. I want to see that right away. I do that big scanning before I go into the detail scanning. So, yeah, what the back is, that wouldn't affect me whatsoever. So
I do the same thing in terms of laying them down. I don't flip them over.
But
I was so tempted last night, and then I thought,
but it would be so easy to separate them. I mean, they're so clear. You should try it. You should just try it to see. But let's ask this question though. The question would be why? Like, what would you get out of it? Because if you think about tarot, we have the 4 elements and the 4 suits, like with all the elemental energy in place. I'm not sure what it would bring to the table versus more of a structured, like layering, like doubling the cards up, or
like if you did a year ahead spread, which we both have done, and you did it 13 cards and you had the tarot deck and this one mixed in, I don't think that would feel good to me.
No. It literally gave me I was like, oh no. And I know a lot of people mix, even the Brian Froud, they mix those 2 decks together because he has 2 that are structured Oracle decks, and I know that a lot of people mix those together, but I would not do that personally, and I'm sure, and I might do it just to try it because it's not going to hurt anything to try it, but I would say for, let's say, a year ahead spread, I would either do the same thing that I did at the end of the video where I would have an underlying energy of the cards and then lay my tarot cards over the top of that. Or I would use this for the seasons because it is so heavily elemental based. That I would you pull one for each of the seasons on this, but I don't see where it's going to bring anything extra.
I agree. I just was curious as to what.
No, but that's a good question because they're the same size. Now, a lot of times Oracle decks are not. Usually Oracle decks are slightly larger. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I would wish this was a little bit larger so it kind of stands out as this is Oracle, this is Tarot. But just in terms of feasibility, in terms of reading table and stuff, it's kind of nice that it's not. And yes, it would allow you to shuffle them together because it's exact same size as the Wild Unknown, but no.
And like you said, if you have the first edition or the second edition, the backs are so discernible, you could easily pull them out.
It'd be no hassle. So I'm sure somebody's going to do that, and you can test it out and see, Patrick, because to me, it just kind of, it doesn't even appeal to me.
No, and me either. I just wondered, as somebody who does, if you...
Now, I could kind of see, let's say somebody's not super comfortable with the elements in tarot, and so this would be a way to shuffling it all together and really having elemental presence show up quite obviously. But for me, the suits are so heavily elemental on themselves. Yeah, I just personally, it doesn't bring anything to the table for me.
What I like about the spread that she's got on her website, that she has completely the animal spirit, is the direction she gives is to separate your animal spirit deck out by the suit, so fire.
I never do that. Whenever spreads say that, I ignore it. I don't do that.
Well, because the points. So the whole idea is you would like shuffle your fire and pull one fire.
I know, but I love to see the interplay. If it's an elemental spread, I like to see if air is showing up in a fire position. That says something. Like, that to me is what's cool about elemental spreads, is that when a swords or an air element shows up in fire, it means that we need to bring some of that air energy to our fire. Yeah, that we need to be a little bit more in the head about what we're doing, a little bit more structured mentally about what things we're passionate about, or things that we're manifesting. We need to bring a little bit of air energy to. So I actually really like the interplay.
Yeah,
but a lot of decks, I mean, there are, because I've seen that before, where they have you split off the major arcana. A, it's a lot of work, and I'm pretty lazy, and B, I just really like the interplays.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I, as somebody who hasn't used it much, again, that's one of those things I'm like, okay, I can get this. But
try it. I mean, I would say try it. I mean, see, because it may really mesh with you.
I'm trying to see what she says. Like, what she says as...
And it makes sense. If you're trying to see what is the animal spirit, what is the energy in that suit that's coming out for you.
Yes.
So it makes sense. And especially if you're new to working with, and not to say that that's like a beginner thing, but truthfully, there's a lot of people who ask me a lot of questions about, trying to get more comfortable with because that is pretty key in tarot, is understanding the elemental energy. And sometimes that's a struggle for some people. And I do get people that ask a lot of questions about that. So I would say that something like that would be really great, to just working with that specific energy in that specific position and seeing the range of energies that can be in fire energy. That's not just fire is this right here. There's all these different ranges. So I could see where it would be really good for that. I truly am lazy about stuff like that. And I just like seeing it mixed up.
Yeah. Well, and I think getting to know this deck, there is something to be said. I mean, obviously, you and I had this moment with the elephant, because I associate elephants with water.
And we said at the same time, we're like, why wasn't it? And he's like, water, and I'm like, earth. Like, it was just, I would never have thought, I mean, yes, water, I mean, elephants take baths and drink water, but doesn't make them elephant water.
And they spray water on each other.
Yeah, but so do we, and we're not water people. You're not a mermaid, Patrick.
Look, if I was a water creature, I would want to be
not a mermaid.
Like a seahorse.
Seahorses are pretty cool. But you're not a seahorse just because you take showers. And an elephant's not a water creature just because it takes showers with its stomach.
But in this deck where she's assigned
it makes sense because of the grasslands.
Right. Well, right, because actually she didn't assign it as water. She assigned it as fire.
Yes.
So
I would have assigned it as earth, because they're just so heavy, and they're so grounded, and they're just so slow and long enduring. Like, to me, that's just very earth energy. I still can't, in terms of the way that she has it broke with the grassland, the actual, dwelling places of the animals, it makes perfect sense. But in terms of energy, I still would have a hard time with fire and elephants. I'll have to certainly either work with that and or just ignore it, which you can do. I mean, you don't have to go with every association. If you have different associations, we just have to learn to roll with those things. But can we talk about this one? Because I love that she recognizes both associations.
Yeah.
We have the water. What? Why are you laughing at me?
No, I'm just.
That was a good segue.
I'm having this moment where it's like, this is normally when I'm like watching you laughing, and
That's
then like
true.
I would be like down in the group chat saying
something rude.
Kelly switched gears, but I'm here, so.
It was a strange moment for you.
Yeah, I just slipped into things. So yeah, sorry.
Disconnect.
I'm participating. I'm
but
sorry.
But that's awesome. It's awesome that she acknowledged that there's that beautiful, because it is such a huge deal that they live so much of their times in water and they cross that boundary. So I love that. I almost have that sense that this is pushing a little closer to the spirit energy because of that crossing of the boundaries. And the other one that I was kind of thinking that she could have done that with was the frog, because again, but they, even after they turn into frogs, are they water?
Yeah.
Is that water energy for this
I think so. Oh, wait, it's got to be.
It's got to be. But that makes... Then I was like, yeah, Kelly, do you...
Let's find out, though, because watch it be
Go back to kindergarten, which, can I say, Patrick does not know how to spell.
Oh, my gosh!
I was trying to spell kindergarten, and he's spelling it I can't even remember, but don't ask him.
I'm from Maine.
Yeah, he's apparently in Maine they go to kindergarten. Kindergarten instead of...
frog is water.
Frog is water. I mean, that makes sense because even after it transforms, it's still, spending a lot of time in water. So, yeah, I almost think that the dragonfly could have gone into the spirit category, except for those are all animals that are not of this world, so it wouldn't have fit. But I love that she did that. I think that's really cool. Let's talk about the eggs. And I'm going to sneeze. My allergies are really bad, and I can't believe I haven't sneezed yet. And I'm clicking my thing.
Do you like the eggs?
I do. The only thing that I think is slightly strange about the eggs is I feel like there should be 4. And not for any good reason. I just feel like there should be 4. We should have had these sorted, shouldn't we have?
I know. Why I didn't do that either. In fact, I shuffled right before we got on.
So even if you had, you would have ruined it.
Yeah. Why did I do that?
Can I say I'm also fond of the earthworm, which I didn't think I would be, but that idea of, it's so in the earth, and with it coming up in the rainy times and it coming to the surface, there's a lot you could do with the earthworm. And I really thought when I first saw there was going to be earthworm, I'm like, earthworm, really? We're going to have that in an oracle deck? But I think there's a lot that you can sit with that one.
One of my first things when I saw that worm card was this gross. I don't like it. My second thing was it reminds me of the the swords in the Wild Unknown. Is it the eight of swords where the worm's getting cut?
Yeah.
And I thought, great, there's the worm before it gets cut in half from the tarot deck. But then it's funny because then I kind of was like, okay, well, what do I associate with worms? And I don't have much association with worms. But my mother, growing up, my mom's very, very much an animal person. She's very sensitive. And every time it rains, the worms come up out of the ground.
I think her entire Facebook page is animal videos.
It is, yeah. But I remember as a kid, she would drag us outside when it was raining so that we could go, quote unquote, save the worms because they were drowning in the puddles.
Michael, that's all he did was save worms and all kinds of things. And we grew up too collecting worms, but we weren't saving them. We would collect them for my grandfather to use in fishing hooks.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So we'll see. My mom's she would hurt an animal.
I cannot hook a worm actually myself anymore, but I did used to collect them for that. So there's a lot you could do with the worm. So,
now that I have that association with the worm, I'm like, okay, it's all about pushing up.
Yes, and you just think about it, but it was when it's raining. So metaphorically, at least in these oracles, and you think of rain as that kind of harder times and things are raining, but they're coming to the surface at that time, which is pretty cool. But here we have 3 eggs.
And they're arguably a little ugly. So what are the ugly things that come to the surface?
But I don't know. But that's putting the poor little worm in a negative light. Maybe they're not that ugly. They're cute.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a stuffed animal of a worm.
Big one. There are some worms that are not so cute, but the big earthworms, they're not too bad.
Okay. Let's get to the eggs.
Well, let's talk about the eggs because there should be 4. I feel like there should be 4 eggs. There's 4 elements. There should be 4 eggs.
But this is they're all spirit.
I know, but why aren't there 4 spirits?
I don't know.
Let's talk about what these relate to. You're don't answer that stupid question. I didn't make the deck.
I feel like this is a test. Stop it.
I know. Okay, let's think about it though. So you have the guidebook. So you are in charge of the guidebook. So we have black and golden. So that we have those 2. What are the just basic keywordy things for those 2?
Okay. The golden egg keyword is message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. And that's right, the golden egg is the heart chakra.
Oh, right.
Because she also ties in with the system yoga. So, and she talks about the chakras.
Speaking of which, I wish she would have put on this one, because I'm bad about chakras. I wish you would have put she says it's the fourth chakra or whatever, but I wish you would have said heart, because I'm so bad about that.
Well, and I will say, because I'm not really great with chakras either, but I know them as root chakra, sacral chakra, but she doesn't call them that. She calls them like the, Kilamalinga chakra.
Oh, she does that full...
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not meaning any offense in that, but like I'm always like, can we just say heart chakra?
Right.
Crown chakra,
you're right. So
chakra.
the golden egg. So I'm going to write this on here, because yes, I do write on my things, not on my card. Well, I do write on cards sometimes too, but I'm writing on my guidebook. So that's the heart chakra. So then the black one
is the
fifth. What is the fifth?
The fifth chakra. Wait, fourth was heart.
Mm-hmm.
So fifth is throat.
Well, which makes sense, because it says speaking from an authentic voice.
Yes.
Okay, so there we have throat. So then our last egg is the cosmic egg.
And that's the crown chakra.
That's the crown. Glimpsing enlightenment.
Yeah, and that's all about...
I don't know. I'm just curious as to what I like the eggs, truthfully. I like the golden egg. I like the black egg. I like the cosmic egg. But I'm not sure if it was just random, let's use eggs. Because I can't see the heart, the throat, and the crown, like why those would stand out separately. Were there just not three other animals, mythical animals that stick in there? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, the golden egg being the heart, it does sort of look like, obviously the egg's in a nest. So you could go to that sort of like heart center, family center.
No, yeah, I think the eggs work. I think it's curious because there are three eggs. Yeah, there could have been like, I don't know, other mythic creatures besides three eggs.
Yeah,
Or there could be four eggs.
I know you want 4 eggs. Well, the sea serpent one kind of looks like an egg.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of looks like a fertility type egg.
They could have all been eggs, but then we went and had the dragon, and I do love the dragon.
And is there any symbology? No.
Did you notice with the circles on the spirit?
They're metallic.
Yes, and I didn't notice that until just now.
Yep, they are. Some of them are more pronounced than others.
Yeah, the sea, because I didn't notice it until the sea serpent one is very pronounced. So what we're talking about, see right there?
Yeah, it's very noticeable on the screen. I can see. Yeah.
So that they're in their other.
But see, the card backs are the same way.
Yes, so well as the box.
But the card backs, the camera doesn't capture it, and the box is actually. Like in the right light, it's holographic. Like it's iridescent.
Yeah, it's pushing close to like the the fountain tarot, that iridescency.
Can we just say iridescent, like moonstone?
He's definitely in love with his moonstone there.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Brenda.
That was a good one. That works well for you.
Yes.
So okay, eggs. We can't really think any rhyme or reason to the eggs. I would have liked. I guess I like the eggs, to be honest. However. When you only have 7 spirit cards, I think there could have been some other mythical creatures.
I hope somebody posts a comment like their interpretation of it, because
see what you think.
I don't have enough of a background with like. I mean, I know that there's this whole idea of fertility and all this stuff, but I, like you, I'm not drawing the connection to A, the chakras, or B. I mean, what's sacred about an egg?
Well, I think that's the birthing place. I do think
But these are mythical creatures. Eggs aren't mythical.
Well, if it's a phoenix egg, it is. The phoenix burns the egg up burns itself up. It emulates itself in order to give birth to the next egg. So I definitely think that the golden egg is a phoenix egg. That's a phoenix egg.
What's the black one?
That's a dragon's egg. Maybe that's what it is. Let's look. So what's the other one? The cosmic egg is obviously a snake egg.
Okay, I'm getting the guidebook out for this.
Phoenix.
Are you right?
No, somebody's trying to call you or something.
Do you want to hear the golden egg?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Well, that one makes sense. Let's go to the black egg, because the cosmic egg makes sense. The golden egg, you can see the nest. The black egg is just an egg sitting there, so...
Okay, so black egg, speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. Those are the key words in the book. And then it says, the black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white lies. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in. Books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I want? What do I know to be true about myself? What is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It is the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. And then for all of these spirit pages, then there's not the bring into balance piece at the bottom. It says the black egg and the fifth chakra, and it says the subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. I'm just going to say throat.
Yeah, just say throat chakra.
Yeah, and actually here I say that, but it says Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance to the center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a great explanation. I don't think the image says any of that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, you'd have to know that. Like, you would have to go to the guidebook and or the keywords. I mean, the keywords for the black egg is speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. But you would have to, like, if you just looked at a black egg, like, none of that's going to come out of that.
Not at all.
But I think that's probably the case, you know. The same thing is if you don't know the story of the Phoenix, you're also, I mean, most people have some idea of the Phoenix, but if you didn't, you know, you would lose, you know, some of that. But at least you can certainly see some degree of it. Same thing with dragons. I mean, dragons could go either way. Some people see dragons as like greedy, hoarding, you know, kind of a Lord of the Rings dragon. I love Lord of the Rings, but I don't like their dragons. Or this one has the dragon as transforming of self and balancing of ego, which again, not really. I have a lot more to do with dragons than just that one. But so I will say the eggs. I still like them. I don't know why.
I like them. Yeah. No, I like them. I am kind of curious.
But you have to memorize what it is because otherwise you're not gonna know.
Yeah, or throw it all out and just think of them in terms of chakras, but then at the same time, the image isn't going to match that at all. Like, it's not like a chakra card set. Like
I almost wish that it had the chakra symbols on here.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, you can kind of, even though you may not have them memorized because it goes from the 2 to 3, you can see them building, you would get that sense of the progression of the chakras. So that would have almost been nice. I could draw them on there, but am I going to write on my... No.
I mean, you can.
No, if I had to, maybe, or just put a 1. I am slightly tempted to kind of with black, you know, very fine marker somewhere, kind of work in just a little tiny 1, and go through the chakras. So because I'm not great about the chakras, because this would be something I would have to look up, but it's only 7 of them. We're going to get used to it. So.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing, like, not to, like, deviate, but that is the other thing about this deck on I think there's a few levels here. One, I think it's going to be awesome to really, for people who love animal energy, awesome already. For people who don't love animal energy, but love animals or don't know anything, you're going to learn a lot about animals just by working with this deck, which I also think it's in such a personal way that I think it's also going to increase, you know, a lot of us feel whether you're pagan or connected to Mother Earth, it is going to only encourage that that type of relationship, because you're going to feel like you start to relate to the energy of a crocodile and how it relates to you, you know? And then the same goes for the chakras. Like, I guess she could have just, you know, done, like, for the crown chakra, which is super clarity, she could have done, like, an eagle eye, because people think, like, eagles flight. Yeah. But at the same time, like, it's going to make sense.
Yeah, I do like the non-natural animals in the chakras. I just guess because it's so closely based on the chakras, I would have liked some indication of what number chakra it was, and or just that cool, you know, lotus leaf chakra image for each of them, so that you just kind of have that touchstone. But again, these are like that's like nitpicking.
We are so nitpicking.
We love the deck. It's just there are things, you know. Everybody has a different idea of what makes a perfect deck.
Yeah, and I'm hoping. I really can't wait to hear what people say. If anybody watches this very long video.
I know. We need to pull some cards. We need to do a reading.